Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm sitting down with Shane and we're just going to do an interview, right? Shane has been in my program for a few months now and yeah, he's gotten some really good results. He's in a pretty cool position right now. Shane, you're doing in and around 4K a month with your marketing agency. And I think you guys watching are going to learn a lot from this man right here. So Shane, appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure now. It's great to be involved now. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like, obviously, like, there's always that back and forth, but then to be asked to come on, like, I thought that was a bit kind of a milestone for me anyway. So I thought that was kind of cool because this is my first interview actually getting to video and talk to someone like and go through everything I do. So really
See?
happy with the opportunity.
Yeah, amazing, man, amazing. And I'm sure it's the first of many. Once you do one, you'll opportunities come up, whether it's with businesses that you work with, they might invite you on, or hey, it could just be something like someone who has a podcast that invites you on down the line, man. So first of many. Shane, if you want to give people a bit of an intro of, so obviously I've said you're at 4K a month. Like, what do you offer? What kind of businesses do you work with? Are they all in Ireland? Are they abroad? Like, what's that breakdown look like right now?
Yeah, so at the moment, my services I'm offering now, it's kind of like a split 50-50 with kind of two sides of my business. So I do social media marketing, which is what most people kind of call like the content creation, and then some basic Facebook ads. And then the other side of my business is kind of media. So it'll be all photography, videography, and drone services. So that side of business is really all real estate. So I have two real estate agents that I work with at the moment, and that brings in, like, this month has just been the busiest month I've had all year, and it's been going really well now. So, like, obviously I said when I organized this interview, like, I'm averaging around 4K a month, but this month I'm actually 6.3. That just
Amazing.
calculated. So it's my best month so far. So it's gone really good. So, like, the kind of businesses that I work with, I'm working all local and they're all in Ireland, so they all are within kind of an hour's drive of where I live, and it's all kind of word of mouth that I've kind of gone through, and they've seen the businesses that I work with, message them, seeing like who's doing their social media, how to do social media, and it's come back to me, and I've kind of signed more clients. So I've got 7 clients, paid clients now that I'm working with, and they're all in different fields. None of them are the same. So I work with a furniture retail business, a real estate agent, home renovations, a physiotherapist, a recruitment agency, a bar and nightclub, and a safety equipment and workwear business. So
Wow.
obviously that's a lot, a lot of variation in there. So it actually works
Yeah.
pretty well because all of the content and stuff really boils down to the same kind of few principles there that you're trying to get across there. Like, you're trying to get your basic business promotion, your customer engagement rates, like trying to get you're all trying to hit the same points. So it's just adapting those kind of same few principles to the same businesses, and then just kind of circling around, looping around, finding different ways to kind of innovate with each of them. So and make it unique to their company. So it is solving a lot of their problems, because a lot of these businesses, when I kind of joined, they didn't have anyone doing the social media. They had someone working with them, kind of just having a way doing the social media, but it wasn't consistent, wasn't in line with kind of wasn't really targeting the right people, wasn't targeting their customers. It was just someone in the business doing social media because they're taught to do social media, and it wasn't really getting them anywhere. It wasn't getting They were getting no engagement, they weren't increasing the size of their scale of their social media, like their reach and everything. So really, like, all the feedback that I've got from all my clients is really positive. Like, they've increased all their like everyone in the local area knows about their businesses more now, and they're getting booked for more things like home renovations. Client I have, like, a lot of the stuff that I do with him will be trying to get people to obviously message in and book in for quotations and everything. And like, since like, he was doing his own Facebook ads and throwing money towards it, but he wasn't throwing it in the right direction. So it's about giving these businesses sense of direction, sense of consistency, and just growing their business online.
Amazing, man. And you said that you think you're getting good results with the clients. Well, if you've gotten referrals in your local area, you definitely are, man. Because we
Yeah.
all know what like a small town can be like in Ireland or really anywhere. So, the fact that
Yeah.
you're getting those clients is a clear indicator that things are going good, man.
Yeah.
That's super interesting, man. So I guess your average client, payment is probably in around would be about 900 a month per client.
Well, yeah. See, like, the real estate clients kind of bring in more money because I get paid per job, so they would be my big payers. So I'm getting 2.5 grand from the social media, like, content creation alone, and then all the additional income comes from kind of the real estate. So
Gotcha.
the big spenders, the real estate. There's because like the Irish housing market now is blowing up. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of reaping the rewards of it. So I'm happy.
Hell yeah, man. 100%. There's always winners in these scenarios. So good place
Yeah.
to be in. Interesting. So yeah, so many different industries, man. It's like, and it's an interesting one because obviously in my agency we have a niche. We've always had a niche, right? And we've seen a lot of benefits from that. Right. And one big benefit is referrals, right? And we work with a lot of fitness coaches. If they get good results, they're in that network. They will spread our name. But the interesting thing is that there's people I know like yourself where you don't really have a niche, but you're in a locality, right? And this is something that I've never done. I've never worked with local businesses, so I can never comment, on how good or bad it is. But for you, you can see that clear benefit of if you work with the real estate agent, John's getting good results. Well, naturally, when he's down in the pub or at the bar talking to somebody else and business is going good, it's going to come back to you eventually. So it doesn't matter if Johnny the second is then in a completely different business because he's going to trust you pretty much, probably automatically because it's referral. And then second, because you're local, you might actually have quite a big advantage compared to the guy like myself, who is just trying to do the online kind of space. So yeah, really interesting, man. And like when, let's say you get a referral, right? So let's say John refers John to you. How do you go about that process to sell them? Do you just set up a quick meeting in person? Do you meet them with a phone call on Zoom? How does that work?
Yeah, so usually it begins with a phone call. So I like a random number will come up on my phone and I was like, well, how's it going? And just kind of a quick chat with them. Then they obviously like introduce themselves, tell me who they are, what to do, and how they heard of me. And then it was like, yeah, that sounds all really good. And they're like, obviously asking, do I take on clients? And obviously I say yes. And then we set up quick, if it is in my locality, I go to their business premises, walk in with I have an iPad here, I bring in all my case study and all the business that I work with and kind of explain my processes, explain how my services will benefit their company and how it's worked for other businesses in the local area. And usually that's how it kind of gets nailed down. Like they see the results that I've gotten, see where their business is lacking with not reaping the rewards of social media, and then it usually starts from there.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Solid, man.
referrals go really, really far, especially where I'm living. Like it's just everyone kind of knows each other. So it's the same thing there with the real estate agent. Like I started working with one real estate agent. That's a franchise in Ireland, and then in the next town over, they heard about me. That's how they got in there, and now I'm talking to a third potential one in the opposite direction in the other town about doing their one. So it's all about it's just them seeing your results, and then referrals go a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And you brought up the point of when you go to meet them, you bring the iPad with the case study. And that's just a point I want to mention for people watching. Like when you're selling, you have to have that proof in the results. Okay. Now, for people that are starting, and they don't have a client chain, that can be a doubt, right? Of, hey, I don't have experience, I don't have results, I don't have a case study. What do I do? And so, like, something we do in the program to help people with this is we're going to build with you a case study. And it's not a case study saying, here's my results, because you don't have results. We're not going to lie. But what we will do is we'll show them that the difference between, let's say, a pretty poor company in their industry and a pretty good business, right? And we're just going to basically, show the difference between the two. And the difference between the two is going to link to what you do. All right. So it's the fact that the one that's got 10K followers and a booming business has a social media manager. They're posting this type of content. They post this many times a week. And that's how we do it. So I just wanted to make that point for anybody watching. You can have a case study, even if you don't have results, but you just have to package it with your expertise so that when someone sees it, they see, okay, maybe this is not your client, but they still can see that you know what you're doing. Interesting stuff, man. With your services, Shane, what would you like to scale? Because obviously, as you said, there's kind of the split between doing the jobs where it's media, so like photo, video, drones, and then just the basic social media side. Are you actively trying to grow one side, or is there one side that you can see getting you to that next level?
Yeah, so it definitely will be the social media side of things. Like I haven't actually gone as far as outsourcing my social media work. So that's the probably next big step that I need to look into, because with the 7 clients at the moment, I probably am at capacity.
Yeah.
So because like it is kind of the most scalable part of it, because I can't really get someone else to go into houses and do the stuff that I do with the equipment that I have. So if I like, obviously the social media stuff is quick, easy, simple, but it does take up time when you have that many clients. So it will be that next step to kind of getting that extra income a month would definitely be outsourcing the social media work and kind of taking that next level kind of stuff. So then I could eventually, like, I'd focus on getting more real estate clients in, getting all that work done, and then eventually, like, once I have that kind of two of them kind of growing together, then could look into automating it all. Like, so that is kind of the end goal, is automating everything, taking that step back really and just managing as things go along.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And there's a few guys, and you probably even know them, Shane, from Ireland. There's a couple of guys you can think of in Dublin that have been in that kind of very similar position of balancing social and content. And the content, of course, is harder to outsource, but you definitely can get to a point where you just find someone, in your case, local, who mightn't be the best, but they can train under you and kind of follow your steps for maybe a month or so, get up to speed. And then there's someone that you're going to trust with your equipment, which is obviously worth probably quite a bit of money as well. So yeah, man, you'll definitely get to that point. But look, you're in a phenomenal position. And rewinding a little bit, Shane, what would you say when you were starting, like for the first time, like what were the big things that held you back for a long time? And then secondly, what were the things that you did that just got you results? Because most people procrastinate and hold themselves back for so long. I personally did. What would you say those two kind of main areas would be? So the things that held you back, and the things that really just got you started, got your foot in the door, and got those first couple of clients.
Yeah, so the thing kind of really holding back was probably confidence. And like the big issue I found was not charging enough in the beginning. Like I didn't back myself enough to walk into a place and say, this is what my services are worth. And like I did lower my rates that would be like to the bare minimum that you should really charge from. So that was the big issue, like confidence in my own services and in own ability, that like would have held me back from, like, I'd say with the clients that I was given those lower rates, I could have went in with confidence and like offer them or get them to pay more money, which was the big issue at the start. But obviously now that I've kind of grown in confidence, going to that, I am like the last 3 clients that I've signed them are 3 highest paying clients. So that confidence does come as you kind of grow along. And then obviously when you're learning your trade, you do get more confident, you know how to do everything, you know how to do everything, which is like you always view your own work as the best work. So you get your confidence built as you're going along. And yeah, that's probably the biggest, and not knowing the value of your work was probably the biggest whole, like, and then what was the other part was get me in the door. So yeah, it was, I'm trying to think here. So like kind of getting me in the door is that kind of getting your services nailed down and your product offering. Like, because I was offering a lot of services at the start, which I couldn't really focus all my ability on. I kind of narrowed my services down, knew what I could do, knew I could do well and efficiently, and kind of went straight forward with that. Like, so like with the real estate work, I knew what I could offer, knew I was one of the very few people that could offer all that I was offering, and then went straight for it. And then it was narrowing down my kind of social media work. So like I was trying to offer larger scale Facebook ads and stuff along with that, but it wasn't really working. It was just too much time consuming, and like it's hard to get to that level of knowing everything about Facebook ads because it is very intricate. So it was like narrowing it down to content creation and getting those simple content pillars down to a T that you can adapt them to each business, so you can get your work done efficiently. Like you can go on your laptop, get all the posts like scheduled, sorted ahead of time so that you're not rushing at the end. So like you have everything kind of working as a well-oiled machine efficiently, so you can jump from one job to another, and there's no kind of lag time in there that you're trying to learn on the job, that you narrow down to stuff you know you can do efficiently and only offer them, not really outside. And yeah, what kind of helped me scale as well was knowing when to say no to people, because like you do get some, like there was one or two clients there at the start there that I said yes to, and then they just became a headache, where kind of or hold my business back because I was spending too much time with them, and like you need to know the right people to kind of work with. So that was the thing. Knowing when to say no was probably a big thing to people that you don't get a good feeling off, that you know that are going to cause you a headache and you're working slow you down, which is probably a big issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid, man. Yeah, that's some really interesting insights there. And, you know, on that point of not charging enough money, it's a very interesting one because there's a lot of people, Shane, that I see and they start and they skip that. Okay. So they, let's say, have the confidence. Okay. And they're more than happy to charge 600-700 a month, or maybe even 1,000 a month. And what I've actually found is that the people that do what you did, where you go lower ticket, 200, 300, 400 a month for your first few clients, and you know you're undercharging, but you do it because you know you're going to feel more confident at that price point. And then once you get more results, you can increase. I have found that those people actually get better results. And I think it's because of the fact that when you try and start off like high ticket, although you might think you can do it, it's just one harder to get your first client. So I'm always saying to people, look, the sooner you can get that first client, the better. Because once you get client one, you know, there is that effect where client number two comes quicker. Client number three comes even quicker again. And as you said, you're confident, then confidence will go up and you will be able to charge more money. So I wanted to just bring that up because I know a lot of people get stuck on, you know, I'll only do high ticket. That's great if you have the confidence to do it. But I know, like, when I started, for example, Shane, like, I was not confident to do high ticket. And it was good that I didn't do high ticket, because if I had said to myself, Adam, you're only going to do 1K a month, like minimum, you know, you're never going to do anything lower, I probably wouldn't have got any clients, like, at all, ever. Whereas at least going in with some like really cheap deals, it was like, hey, I can get used to this. I can get some experience. I can learn how to deal with clients, learn how to invoice. I can learn how to onboard. You know, you just get all of that experience a lot quicker. So although you're saying, you know, kind of held you back, totally agree with you. But on the flip side, you mightn't have gotten to where you are now if you didn't go through that like massive learning curve of just getting the first few clients.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, like it is a valuable experience that I got. Like, I was like, I still have those clients, but I'd honestly like up the price for them. But like,
Yeah,
they'd allow me that kind of breathing room to kind of nail down everything, like say financial invoices, getting like your systems in place to like help your job move smoothly.
yeah.
And yeah, and like not having that pressure of like, these people are paying me this much, I need to do this much. It's that kind of, this is what the bare minimum this is worth, and then you can kind of build your business around it. Like your whole business model is kind of shaped around that, and then like once you have that nailed down, you can pump it up then.
That's it exactly, man. That's it exactly. Higher ticket, higher expectations. So you're going to have everything perfect. Whereas you can start with a kind of, you know, a semi set up business, get the first client in, figure it out as you go. And again, if it's low ticket, client should be happy enough with that. Yeah, definitely, man. Cool. And like in terms of the future, and Shane, so obviously, like you said, you're going to plan more for the social media side. Work on getting someone in with you to help offload some of the work, eventually get to that point where it is a lot more automated. Where do you see yourself going in terms of niche and location? Are you going to stick with kind of like a mass market approach of just, you know, again, doesn't matter what industry you're in, are you going to niche? And then secondly, do you want to expand outside of Ireland, or would you like to just stay in Ireland? Because I guess, you know, if you stay, you could become kind of the go-to in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. So on event, like the kind of at the moment, my kind of vision is to capitalize on this kind of local market that I have at the moment. Like hopefully end up getting an office in the local town and kind of being known as the social media person in this locality, because there is one or two other people that are doing services around here, but I honestly, I don't know if they're at doing the same scale that I am, because like I don't see their they're doing the same business as I am. So that will be kind of the main goal in the next kind of in the short term, like in the next year or two, is kind of set up shop in the town, being known around this kind of like, let's say like 30-minute radius, that like the person, if you want to upgrade your social media and you want to really invest in it, this is the person to go to. And then I think then kind of medium term, next over 5 years, is probably to expand that again, like going to the next county over, and like kind of keep kind of expanding that kind of catchment area and keeping local. And obviously at that, like if you're scaling that much, is like getting more people on board to kind of offload the work. And Yes, that's kind of like expand my kind of reach around Ireland, but I would be open to obviously expanding past Ireland. But it's just that kind of level I am at the moment, that it's myself at the moment. So I say once I can kind of offload some of the work, I could eventually look into expanding into different markets.
Sick, man. That it's interesting because, like I said, I've never done the local stuff, but like hearing you say that, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a class idea.
Yeah,
Because like that, if you know you have a couple other guys that are kind of competing with you, but you, okay, so first off, you're probably in a better position, so you're probably the biggest right now, but you want to become like the big. So it's like a clear, anyone who's in your area knows like fucking straight away. It's like, yeah, Shane is the guy. And if you
yeah,
want, you know, a cheaper service with maybe not so good results, you go to the other guys, but you are like the go-to. Yeah, I think I think it's a great movement because of where it's gotten you so far. Makes sense. It wouldn't make sense for you to just change, you know, and forget about what got you to 6K a month
yeah.
for this month. So yeah, man, I think it's a really good idea. And I guess, yeah, just before we end, man, like any kind of tips or just standout piece of advice that maybe you heard from someone or you just figured out yourself that you think someone should hear if they are just getting started or they haven't started yet. They're in that position where they know they want to do it, probably like I was and you were, Shane, before you started, where you're thinking, you're dreaming, you're kind of procrastinating, you're not really doing anything, and you're watching other people like us actually make it happen. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, so you probably would, like, the first thing would be just get a blank sheet of paper in front of you and then set up the most basic business plan you can think of. Put down services. What can you offer that is efficient, that is good, and what you know will be good at, what will be content creation, whatever will be. Have that nailed down and ready to go, and then get your kind of, yeah, that kind of business plan sorted and get your kind of branding down. Do you want to go as a business, set up as a business? If you want to set up as your, like, your own person, as like your own kind of like yeah, like your own kind of influencer type of thing, where you're like, you're going into businesses and being that kind of solo person. And then if you are setting up as a business, kind of get all your kind of registration done first. Like, find a good accountant that will get all that work done for you, because that's what I did. I set up as a sole trader. I had an accountant that I knew, and he walked me through the whole process, made everything simple, and it made my life so much easier. I didn't have to worry about any of that kind of business registration, VAT numbers, anything like that. He kind of takes care of that and has me set up on all those kind of financial things, because I was never good at all those in business in school, like none of those kind of spreadsheets and stuff, and not a chance. So he takes that big weight off my shoulders. And then once you kind of had that nailed down, get like taking that step to set up your own social media business page, because that was the kind of, that took me a while to do. I kind of went the long route about it. I went and done my own branding, my own kind of, and all that kind of, yeah, your own brand guides, your own fonts, your own logos, did all that myself. And then I was already in a business a few months before I even set up my own Instagram page. So getting all that out of the way, and then, yeah, just kind of getting your name out there, like messaging, like obviously you have your niche, or if you want to go in your local area, message people in your local business, any kind of business owner that you know in the local area that like you have a connection with, mention it to them, like that you're looking to get into this. And who knows, like the worst they can say is no. So like, it is really that kind of system of, there's no harm in asking. You have to kind of get your name out there. Once people start noticing, like people talk obviously in local areas, so once people know this is what you're doing, you're going to get someone that is going to give you that chance. So it is about kind of getting that name, getting your name out there, and having everything set up first, that you can get everything done efficiently.
Amazing, man. That's some good advice right there. And to finish it up, man, where can people find you if they want to connect with the Shane Halpin? Where do they go?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Shane Halpin. All my personal pages are Shane Halpin, and then my business on Facebook is Shane Halpin Marketing, and it is on the same on Instagram and on LinkedIn as well. So it's Shane Halpin Marketing on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Perfect. Awesome. Guys, definitely connect with Shane, follow the journey, and we'll see where he is in a year from now. I'm sure it'll be very, very interesting to see, man. Cool. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and Shane, appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, thanks very much.